The island of Sodor had seen its fair share of ghost engines, even legends told far and wide beyond Sodor. Although the legend of the slip-mount engine was finally tamed thanks to Hiro and company, there was another engine, one whose tale stretches beyond comprehension, one that very few live to tell the tale, and one that has set most railways on guard in the night. Like Sakura before, Hiro knew this engine all too well, and it's one tale, one story that he wishes to finally lay to rest after so many years haunting the lines across Japan and beyond. Autumn had arrived once again to the island. The engines were bustling about, making sure each of their jobs was to be completed on time. Bill and Ben, the China Clay twins, were hard at work. A large order had to be completed before the ship set sail for the States. The trucks were beginning to plan tricks, but Ben saw this as a chance to get even. "Oi, none of that! Keep in line, keep in line!" The trucks reluctantly gave in, as with a hard bump, the buffers withstood the impact, and the twins cheerily chugged away. The sun setted by the time Bill and Ben arrived at the docks. The large order was administered to the ship. Once the final load was barged in, Trainz, who had been called in to help with the busy workload during the autumn months, escorted the ship out to sea. That night, Bill and Ben returned to their sheds, exhausted. "Well, great work, Ben." "You said it, Bill. No wonder this is a large order of China Clay. We should probably get some rest. We got more trucks to take down to the docks." Both twins slept, not realizing who arrived uninvited. Later in the night, Bill and Ben heard a faint puffing sound outside the sheds. "What's that?" "Who knows? It's probably the wind." And then they heard a voice, faint but audible, outside the sheds. "Would you like red or blue paint?" The twins were confused. "So the workmen didn't say anything about a repaint. Yet again, we haven't been repainted in a long time." The voice spoke again. "Would you like red or blue paint?" The twins looked at each other nervously. What do we do? Just ignore it." The twins remained silent after what felt like forever. There was puffing. The mysterious engine backed away and vanished into the night. Both Bill and Ben were confused and worried. The next morning, Edward arrived with a train of enthusiasts who were eager to visit the quarry. He saw the concerned look on the twins. "Morning, you two. What's the matter?" We heard a mysterious engine last night. It asked if we wanted to be painted blue or red." Yeah, we were both painted blue, silly. Silly yourself." Edward looked sternly at the twins. "I think this has to do with Hiro, and I know where to find him." Edward puffed away, leaving the China Clay twins in confusion. Hiro, who was waiting with a stopping goods at Kronk Station, was about to be uncoupled when Edward bustled in. "Hiro, just the engine I need to see." "What is it, Edward?" "Bill and Ben encountered a ghost engine at the quarry last night." "What did it look like?" Both didn't see who he looked like. All it asked was about if they wanted to be painted blue or red, and Hiro's face turned white as a ghost. The guards whistled blue, and Hiro rushed into the station as fast as his wheels would let him. Edward was shocked. "It's not your fault, Edward. Come on, we gotta get these trucks to the docks." Edward reluctantly agreed with his driver, and they headed to Brandon Docks. All the while, Edward couldn't help but feeling guilty for asking Hiro of what Bill and Ben saw, yet wanting to solve the mystery of this mysterious ghost train. Salty was shunting a line of vans as Edward brought his trucks to be unloaded by Cranky the Crane. Salty noticed Edward. "You're not this quiet, lad," Salty said. "Is something the matter, shipmate?" Edward told all about what Bill and Ben saw and of Hiro's reaction. "You know just as well as I do, lad, that Hiro could possibly have known this engine long ago." "You're right, Salty. I must have overthought the whole situation." "That's the wise old Edward I know very well," chuckled Salty. "Thank you, Salty. I feel much better now." Edward was soon uncoupled from the trucks, and he pumped back to Wellsworth. Meanwhile, in the Farquhar branch, Percy, Toby, and Thomas were each doing their part, taking turns shunting trucks, hauling freight, and of course, helping with the passengers. Eddie, Clarabelle, Henrietta, even Victoria were at capacity. The buses did all they could. Eventually, by day's end, everything died down. That night, Percy was alone at the branch line sheds. Toby was at the quarry helping Mavis with a large stone delivery in the morning, and Thomas was delivering the last of the mail before returning to Tidmouth sheds for the night. Percy did sleep well. However, he heard a voice outside the sheds. Would you like red or blue paint? Percy was confused. Hello? Is anyone there? Would you like red or blue paint? Percy was tempted. He was known for pulling pranks on Thomas, even Toby, around the month of Halloween. So Percy made a decision, a very costly one at that. Blue, please. I'd love to play a trick on Thomas. He won't even see it coming in. The following morning, Thomas and Toby did return to the sheds. They were shocked to see a very terrified Percy laying on his side, the life drained out of him. Joey and Mickey were called to help re-rail Percy and take him to the works. The little green engine didn't say a word, like he was frozen. Back in time! Ah! Percy, are you all right? Tell us, what did you see? Perfect Percy looked at Inspector Joseph and explained the following to everyone. Even those in earshot heard the explanation of Percy's terrifying encounter. When he finished, Joey was shocked, yet stern. Thank you for telling me. Take your time. Your repairs are a priority. Percy understood this. As he reflected, Hiro, who heard the news, grew very concerned. I must tell the others before it's too late. Sir Tom had felt worried for Percy. Oh Lord, Percy must be traumatized. I hope this ghost we can find and stop once and for all. It was then Hiro arrived. Hello, Hiro. You seemed concerned. I am, sir. It's about what happened to Percy. Sir Topham Hatt listened intently. As Hiro was explaining, every other engine continued their work as usual. They were looking forward to Halloween, even the festivities that went along with it. However, as the sun set that night, some of the engines, especially Bill and Ben, had trouble sleeping and feared the mysterious ghost engine would appear again. Late that night, Henry was resting at Vickerstown after delivering the Flying Kipper. He rested in one of the shed berths and began to sleep. He wasn't alone. A few rows down stood William. He had returned from Barrow after shifting coaches for the mainland diesels. He then heard the same puffing, followed by the same voice that Bill and Ben and Percy all encountered. Would you like red or blue paint? William awoke with a start. Who's there? No one replied. Would you like red or blue paint? Isn't it way too early for a repaint? Would you like red or blue paint? Henry awoke. He heard the voice as well. William, who are you talking to? Would you like red or blue paint? Henry's face fell. William, listen, don't say a word. It could be red paint, sir. I'd love to be a different color for once. The shed doors burst open to a flash of light, followed by the very engine. William, get out of there now! But it was too late. No! The following morning, the workmen found William badly damaged, leaking steam in all directions. Henry, who had seen everything, was in total shock. Mickey had to administer therapeutic treatment as Joey interviewed everyone, from William's crew to Henry's driver and fireman, and even the firefighters were questioned. At least one of our former colleagues wasn't playing with the controls in Thomas's cab now. Your humor can wait, thank you. Sir Tom had arrived and surveyed the mess. He was shaken yet stern. If it's Hiro's old friend that did this, then we have to stop him before he strikes again. Joey agreed with Sir Tom Hatt. As the workmen prepared the damage, left by the spectral ghost's wrath, Hiro could not let this slide any further. He had to tell the engines before a far worse situation were to arise. Elsewhere, Thomas and Toby were doing their work as well as Percy's. That meant Oliver was called in for the Little Western to help with the mail trains, till Percy came back from the works. He didn't mind the extra work. He didn't want to crash into abandoned sheds every night. A nice relaxing run with the post train. Quite right, Mr. Oliver. I say, where's all this fog coming from? What fog? The fog surrounded everything, enveloping Oliver and Toad all around. I can't see, Mr. Oliver! Nor could his guard, the driver, and fireman. Oliver stopped at that moment. Something doesn't feel right. You could be right, old boy. I'll head back to the last signal box we passed, and we'll get into a signing until this fog clears. But what about the mail? We can't let it be delayed any further than it is. I know Percy will have my funnel if I'm late. No, he won't. I promise. The driver got down and headed back up the line with his lamp in tow. The fireman stayed behind as the guard placed detonators on the track to warn approaching engines. Oliver felt very uneasy. The fog, the trees that swayed in the dark, and even the cold autumn air made his surroundings feel very eerie and very haunting. Would you like red or blue paint? Oliver froze. Who's there? Would you like red or blue paint? The voice got closer, but no puffing could be heard. Oliver was on edge. Okay, if this is another joke of yours, Thomas, I swear I will. Would you like red or blue paint? The engine appeared in front of Oliver. He was very shocked and terrified. Who are you? What are you? Would you like red or blue paint? Go away! Would you like red or blue paint? Go away! Would you like red or blue paint? Leave me alone! Go away, you horrid engine! Am I now? The fog lifted. Oliver saw the face of the engine. It was mask-like with two hollow eyes and a smile as disturbing as the devil himself. He had 2 buckets of paint on his front running board, one blue and one red. Wrapped around his funnel was a cloak-like tarpaulin, and it was very battered and worn. Oliver plucked up the last of his courage. Mr. Oliver, who are you speaking to? Not now, please. Who are you? What are you? Let's just say, an old acquaintance of Hiro. Now answer my question. Here's my answer. Oliver shot backwards. The fireman almost knocked out of the cab. The engine left behind in the darkness, smirking. Don't think this is the last time we will see each other, warned the engine, and vanished into the darkness. Oliver was panting when he made it back to the last signal box. The driver was stepping out of the box when he saw Oliver and the train. Now, how on earth did you get back here so fast? Ghost train, and a new hero, and son of a bitch! You'll have to speak to Joey in the morning. Right now the signalman told us we'll take an alternate route to deliver the last of the mail. Then you can rest. Oliver's driver got back into the cab, and soon Oliver and Toad reversed into the sheds. At Tidmouth, he tried to sleep, but tears streamed down the side of his face. Toad respectfully said nothing as the Great Western engine cried himself to sleep. The next day, Joy arrived and he was very concerned for Oliver. Oliver, are you all right? I will be, officer. I mean, Inspector. I can tell you have seen this ghost engine. Yes, I have, and it knew Hiro. Tell me what you saw. Oliver began telling Joey about what he saw that night, from the shape of the engine, its face, even the cloak-like tarpaulin around its funnel. Understood. Thank you for your statement, Oliver. We'll have this matter resolved. I promise. Joey left Oliver. Fortunately, he wasn't damaged by the ghost engine's wrath, so he continued work as usual. He told Duck, Donald, and Douglas. All were very concerned. It's a good thing you lived to tell the tale. What about the others, though? Aye, good point there, Dougie. Sir Tom and Hiro knew what had to be done. Your old friend, Hiro, has to be stopped before he hurts any more of my engines. He wasn't a friend, more or less an acquaintance, so to speak. Both made their way to the sheds. That night everyone was discussing the recent events and what had transpired. Oh dear, I feel awful for everyone involved. If I see that ghost engine, I'll make certain to give him quite the roast. Didn't one of those ghost engines give your face a makeover? Oh, the indignity. So Tom had arrived with Hiro. Everyone listen carefully. Hiro knows that the legend of this ghost engine, and he was a old acquaintance that caused so much tragedy and dark intent on his old railway. This was the story Hiro told. A long time ago, when I went to my old railway, there were many engines who were my friends. Shiroku and Sakura were my closest friends. Of course, they both moved on into the afterlife. But one of them who was an engine with, standards in his mind. but he would always belittle the tank engines, especially if they were even a minute late. He sounds a lot like me. Oh, dear. Gordon, listen. Hiro may have the answer to stopping this ghost engine. His name was Hinata. He was a C-55. He didn't mind his jobs, especially with trucks. His belittling got out of hand. Even the workmen couldn't stand it. I warned him on many of accounts. They're useful just like us. They should be out of the way as far as I am concerned. I just glared at Hinata every time. However, one night, things changed. How so? One night, on a faraway part of the railway, Hinata was assigned to shut the train of steel headed for the mainland. The scrapyard he was at was well maintained, and its equipment was getting old and rusty at the time. The two large cranes above where Hinata was shutting the flatbeds groaned and creaked. The workmen didn't even pay attention. Even the foreman was so laid back, like if he was treating the environment as a game. But as you all know, scrapyards are not places to fool around with. One thing that the scrapyard did have were their own ways of indicating which trains came in and out of the yard. Red meant they were trains of scrap coming in, and blue, meaning trains leaving the yards for places far away. How were they indicated, Hiro? With blue and red paint. Blue and red paint? Yes, Edward. Hiro continued with his story. Hinata was reversing and was coupled to the train. He barely moved out of the yard when the old cranes finally collapsed. Unfortunately, this sealed Hinata's fate. The cranes toppled over in pieces. One of them was carrying a vast of molten steel, which instantly burnt Hinata's face. The old tarpaulin that had been hanging in the rafters of the smelting shed was knocked over by the other cranes, which covered Hinata's front and wrapped around his funnel. The two crane operators didn't get out in time and died instantly upon impact. The foreman and other workmen rushed to the scene. They were horrified to witness the aftermath. A breakdown gang came and removed the remains of the cranes, both of which were scrapped. Hinata was taken to a repair shed. They couldn't do much, but they were able to craft a mask to cover his face. It was so disturbing. I was thinking, why the hell they would have made a mask of that nature? I found no reason of, it was all we had to do. It was a bullshit excuse. Hiro, calm down. I know this story is very sensitive to you. Take your time. Hiro regained his composure. Hinata got so furious at the fact that the other agents teased about his misfortune. The foreman and all the workmen that worked at the scrapyard were fired on the spot by the controller. They planned to condemn the closest scrapyard in favor of a new regime. But Hinata felt that wasn't enough. Hinata, whatever you're thinking, this isn't worth it. Let the controller deal with this. Hinata didn't listen. And that was the very last time I ever spoke to him before his demise. What happened to him? One night, weeks after Sakura's death, Hinata would light engine to the scrapyard. He intentionally shot sparks through his funnel, some catching onto the dead grass, and the fire grew fast. It led to a fuel pump for the machines, of course. The fuel was to be drained from the pumps in the morning. Hinata went into the smelting shed, and just as he entered the shed, there was a loud explosion. It awoke everyone, me included. The fire brigade and rescue crews all went to the site of destruction. But sadly, they were too late. The fire put under control. When the fire was out, they couldn't find who was responsible for this. But they did find the remains of Hinata. Everyone was shocked. His remains were scrapped on site, and the now condemned scrapyard was abandoned. But that wasn't the end of the story. Everyone listened. 2 weeks after Hinata's death, the foreman and the workmen who were working on jobs around the railway were in the furthest berth of the engine shed. They heard a familiar voice. Would you like red or blue paint? Would you like red or blue paint? Yeah, blue paint. And be quick, I hasn't got the time for... Do you now? It was said the foreman shitted his pants so much, he thought he would have had a heart attack. Spare us, please, whoever you are. Last chance, asshole. Red or blue paint? Blue paint, just go away. Go away! But Hinata didn't go away. He went through with an intent he had been wanting to do since his demise. Oh, scrap, he didn't. The foreman and workmen were slain, almost like an actual murderer would do. They were scum in the eyes of Hinata, but to the investigation team, they concluded it was a suicide. He even went after one of the tank engines, who also died. It was so gruesome. So whatever you do, if Hinata asks red or blue, do not in any way answer, or he will make your fate worse than death itself. It's like the Akamanto legend. Yes, Edward. Hinata. Yes, Edward. Hinata, known as the Cloaked Engine, will do anything to get his way. Oliver, you were lucky. Same with Bill and Ben. I hope Percy and the others will recover soon. But we will have to stop Hinata before it gets worse than it already is. The engines all devised a plan to stop Hinata's wrath before he claimed his next victim. As they did this, they didn't see who was watching them in the distance. I will find you, Hiro. I will destroy you. The next day, everyone went about their usual jobs. The engines were all preparing to face Hinata head-on no matter the cost. But they had to outsmart the Cloaked Engine by any means necessary. I was in a siding thinking to myself, this is troubling. I hope Hiro knows what he's doing. Perhaps the American AF may have an idea how to stop him. He will know what to do, Brandon. Thank you, Bradford. I say you had some run-ins too. Yes, Bradford with the Ghost. And others, I believe? Oh, right. Not on my watch making this knowledge of free zone. Yeah, Anyways, by the time the last truck was shunted and the coaches in their sides, the sun began to set. They waited till nightfall. Soon enough, the sun setted, and it was night once more. Hiro sensed it was coming. Hinata is close. So what are we waiting for? Percy arrived at that moment. Behind him were Bill, Ben, and William, among others. But I thought so too. But I realized I needed to help my friends more than ever. Then the fog appeared, followed by a distant puffing. It was ominous, yet apparent. The engines were readying themselves at that moment. Stand strong, engines! A shape started to form through the fog. As it materialized, Hiro knew exactly who it was. As the fog lifted, Hinata emerged from the darkness, with a sinister grin on his face. What was the mask in life became a part of his face. Two hollow eyes, where the should have been, took its place, and the mouth was just a devious grin. Hiro wasn't staying for it any longer. Hinata! Thundered Hiro. You blasted engine, disgrace to the railway. You and I used to call home belittling engines for their size and ended your life all because of that accident at the scrapyard? It wasn't worth it, Hinata. You need to stop it now. Hiro, you are one salt engine to talk. Everyone was shocked, but Hiro remained unfazed, yet composed. The reason I belittled those useless engines was simply for one reason: for them to be compliant, responsible. Surely I don't blame them for my fate, but those workmen fucked around like no one's business. Those workmen didn't deserve to die, not even the foreman. That scrapyard was condemned even prior to your suicidal mission. That scrapyard should have been condemned long before my death. Did they hear my complaints? No. Did I warn them? And did they listen? Did they hear my warnings? But ignored them outright. I was so tempted to make a case to eradicate any imperfections of that yard. And sadly, those ended up ruining my life in the end. That doesn't mean you have to take your anger out on engines that haven't encountered you. Oh, please. I just love to cause madness wherever I go. Now I take back my arrogance from all those years ago. Focus, Gordon. Hiro's in the moment. Hiro felt Hinata's intensity grow by the minute. He had to do something. Hinata, you're ready to tear Arnoldson Sodor tonight. You should be resting in peace. There were alternatives to dealing with those flawed workmen and that foreman, but taking their lives out of pure spite doesn't give you justice to do what you did to them. They're in hell where they belong. What about the families, the children? There. Hiro broke off and stopped for a moment. Hinata was getting annoyed. And what, Hiro? What? And the future? It would have been the future had they not been held accountable. I took the necessary action, and what has to be done. It didn't have to be this way, Hinata. Do you hear me? Oh, I have had enough of this, but now I am afraid I have to ask you the very important question. Everyone was stunned. Straba had a bad feeling about what Hinata was going to say at that moment. Hinata's face lifted off to reveal his true face. Hiro was shocked. Oh my lord! You see, Hiro, this is what marks that were left on me. Negligence on me. Goddamn negligence! Atako no katisio! What's your question, Hinata? A very simple one. Then 2 buckets of paint appeared on Hinata's running board. Would you like red or blue paint? Hiro thought for a moment, but no response came. Hinata was getting furious. Red or blue paint? Red or blue paint? Red or blue paint? Red or blue paint? Red or blue paint, Hiro? Choose, or I will finish that sentence, or I will end you, Hinata. It was then at that moment. Hinata saw Rosie puffing away in the distance. She was taking a small goods train to Vigorstown. You're mine, Tech Engine! Rosie saw Hinata and ran as fast as her wheels could carry her. Hiro, take some of this! Thank you, Brandon. The signal was told about the chase. Up ahead was the runaway sighting. The points changed, and Rosie was able to get ahead of Hinata. The signalman changed them back just in time. Blasted signalman! I will find you one day. I will! This is for your victims! Damn you, Hiro! Hiro, using a railgun, was able to stop Hinata's spirit. The terror he caused for the many years was finally over, thanks to magic gold dust borrowed from Ai. He saved the day, just in time. Well done, Hiro. I am proud of you. Hinata is no more, thanks to your perseverance and your wisdom. Thank you, sir. Don't mind if I do. I cleansed all the mess left behind by the railgun's blast. Tonight, and in recent days, we have learned how to be tough and persevere through a challenging time. This autumn season, we must all thank Hiro for his dedication for dealing with an old acquaintance of his. Hinata's wrath is no more. Without Hiro, who knows what Hinata would have done to the island. Now, let's get ready for Halloween. It's nearing any day now, or any week, I should say. As every engine made their way home, they all reflected on the recent events. The island resumed its normal operations. The following day, everyone enjoyed the autumn breeze, the leafless trees. And with Halloween nearing, they were not to worry about Hinata, or any ghost engine for that matter, for a long while. However, at the ironworks, there was an engine that had been meant to be scrapped a long while ago. But Airy, Bird, and even the workmen hadn't paid attention to who that engine was. Diesel was recently spooked by this engine, and he even tried to get Bear sent away. We all know who that engine was, but that's a story for another day.